Hi there. So in this video, we'll be going through the Edge AI platform. We'll be focused on knowledge management and search and discovery use cases, along with some automation and productivity use cases with our workflows product. This will be in no particular order. We'll show you different apps that perform different functionalities for specific use cases. What you're seeing here is our meetings app. What you see here is all the meetings that I've recently had. I'll show you how to record a meeting. Let me give you a quick background on what happens here. We have built an infrastructure that has browsers in a virtual cloud, mimic human attendees that are attending your meetings. And for each of the meeting transcripts that you see here, a bot from our platform had attended the meeting. We cover Google Meet, we cover Microsoft Teams, Zoom, so all the three major platforms. And you have a couple of options. You have meeting bots, where the bot can go attend the meeting in a synchronous fashion. So that would be where you're basically hitting this button, copy pasting a URL, and the bot goes and attends the meeting. And the other option is what we call clips. So with clips, essentially what you have is a situation where you don't want to meet synchronously, wherein a bunch of coworkers are on a meeting together, but you would like to record a note like I'm doing right now actually, and send this over to your team members, maybe the entire organization or a large team or just one other person, or maybe just for yourself. And here we have built a functionality where, because I'm recording right now, I won't be turning on another recording for you, but we'll be sharing how those products work as well through a separate video, which goes into like the actual screenshots and live demos. So with clips, you are able to record clips without actually attending a live meeting. And you will hit a button, it starts a browser-based screen share. So audio and video is covered. And once the recording is complete, it would look something like, let's say, this is a startup that I'm mentoring. So it would be a transcript on the right and the entire recording here. And you can have a chat with the transcript and you can ask questions. For example, when is the startup planning to raise capital and what are the leads that they're looking at, those kinds of things. So that's meetings and clips, kind of like very similar products. Just achieve functionality in two different ways based on whether you want to send a bot to a synchronous meeting or you want to record something asynchronously and avoid a meeting altogether. Let's move on to collections. Now, with collections, it goes hand in hand with our search answers platform, search answers workflows platform. Let me actually move to GoLinks instead and then come back to collections. So this product is our rendition on the GoLinks product out there, pretty popular. And what it does essentially is when employees are looking for typical resources such as the benefits intranet website, or let's say IT resources URL or a sales asset location, then today they are all required to kind of either remember where and how to find this resource or bookmark the long URLs on their browsers. And it just becomes really hard to standardize the location. So what with GoLinks you can do is you can have very simple shortcuts. You install our browser extension. I'll talk about the browser extension in a moment, but you install our browser extension, and now as an organization, you can have go/content calendar for marketing, then go/product onboarding for sales. You can have go/benefits for HR. And the way it works is, let me pick, say, content approvals. So you go here, you type content approvals. Let me see if I got the spelling right, content approvals. And yep, it quickly took me to the internal tracking sheet for what we use in marketing for content approvals. And look at this long URL that I would otherwise have to remember. And because this is a shared link across the entire organization, entire marketing team, everybody gets to just use a simple shortcut instead of like having to all record this long URL. So that's GoLinks in a nutshell. Extremely easy to implement across your team and extremely powerful on a daily basis. And it helps a lot with knowledge management. Goes complements search functionality quite well, because instead of searching for a document, you can just type in go/sales assets, and it immediately takes you to the exact drive or intranet location from where you can find your document. Now let's take a look at search, chat, and workflows. We'll first cover search and chat and show also how they work with collections. Once we cover all three of those, we'll look at workflows and workflow automation. So with search, the first thing I want to point out is we've built a large number of connectors. These are all proprietary. We have implemented a hybrid search mechanism, which includes a combination of API-based searches along with crawling, so with crawling you do indexing and vector embedding, which gives you fuzzy keyword searches as well as semantic search. So you could be searching for keywords such as shoes, even with typos. And with semantic search, you will also be able to match on sneakers and boots, because you're looking for vector or semantic matches, not just keyword matches. Each connector here is built to work precisely, perfectly with the corresponding application. So it's not a one-size-fits-all kind of approach. Every connector is optimized for search results that work really well with that application. All proprietary, none of this is third party. Now, once you have connected to your favorite applications in your workplace, you would come here, you would have a single place where you can select whether you want to search, chat, or build a workflow. So search, as the name suggests, is where you can ask a question like, let's try an example of something we have been working on internally in the engineering and marketing teams. So what's the latest on, so internally we call it workflow V2, right? So I'll just use the phrase, again, it is keyword and semantic agnostic. So multiple different variations would work out, but because I know this is what we internally call it, I'm just going to try this. So I hit enter. Now what's happening in the background is it's connecting to like all the 10 plus applications that I've hooked it up with, it found 48 matches, which spans across even a clip here, a conference document, multiple Slack messages and threads, and Jira tickets, and it comes back and tells you the latest, right? So Workflow V2 has been successfully released to production, which is true, and it talks about like the key highlights and so on and so forth. Now, what I would like to point out here is, first, not only did it get these answers back from so many different applications and so many matches, it on the fly scores it based on a what the industry calls reciprocal rank fusion, where it gets the results from our keyword-based search and then also so keyword-based native API searches and also the semantic and indexed searches from our own crawling. And from these two retrievers, it takes the best results and fuses them. That's where the RRFF comes from. Fuses them based on reciprocal weighted ranks. And in simple English, what that means is you get the best of all of the results. Pretty standard and world-class algorithm that gives you an extremely powerful way of making sure you're getting the best results from all sources. We don't stop there. We also have a proprietary kind of special secret sauce large language model that we apply on top of the results that you get. It works extremely fast. It's expensive, but when you apply it to just small amounts of text, which is what you have here, right? This is just small blurbs of text. We're able to, at a very low cost, but at a very high velocity, be able to rank order the results based on the query that was asked here. Now, let me show you some powerful things. Let's say this is a thread, and I don't have the time to read the thread. I can just click on a button here for summarize, and it does the job of reading the thread for you, and it summarizes what's inside the thread. Not just that, you can actually have a chat with the thread, and you can ask it questions like, what was the pricing discussion about, or why did they feel that we should increase the pricing, so on and so forth. So now the entire workspace, all the applications, all the documents, emails, articles, blogs, everything that is out there in your workspace becomes accessible to you. It's searchable from one single place, and you're able to chat with it and summarize it in one click. So that's the search product, and chat is essentially the complement to search, where if you don't care about looking at all of the search results and you just need this answer and you have follow-up questions, then you go to chat and you do the same. You could ask the same query and you just get a straight up answer. You don't need to worry about working with all the matching documents and matching results. Now I will show you something really powerful about chat, which ties into collections. So let's go. So there are a bunch of test collections here, but there's also an HR collection, and this is for the India team. I'm going to ask this following question. What is our paternity leave policy? And what it's going to do is it's basically going to limit itself to just the collection, not really do a enterprise workspace-wide search. And the benefit of this is now the employees can be sure that the answers are grounded in curated knowledge. So curated by HR or IT or sales, right? Based on whether it's a benefits related question or IT related question or a sales onboarding product literature related question. So there you go. You get an answer straight from the collection. And the way the collection looks in this case would be, this is where it got it from. Everything that is inside here was certified by an employee of the company, and now you know it came from a certified authentic source. So that's search, chat, and collections in a nutshell. Now let's go to workflows. So with workflows, let me just first show you some reports to just show you like the power of what you get once the workflow is completed. So here, what we've done is, let me close this. What we've done is generate release notes. It is a workflow that looks at your engineering ticket manager, which is Jira in our case, and Slack for internal discussions about those tickets, and any other applications that you might feel are needed for generating release notes or launch notes that you can share with customers or share internally with sales. And in this case, what we have done is generated this report for the last 48 hours, I believe. We just had a release, and I wanted to like put together something that we can share on our changelog externally. So the power here is it connects with Jira. It runs a what they call JQL, Jira Query Language, query onto Jira to pull the last 24 or 48 hours of results as you specified in your template. Actually, let me show you the workflow, the way it looks. So this is the flow editor version. This is the text version. As you can see, what it's doing is searching for step number 1, step number 2, and all of this is modifiable using a chat interface that I'll be showing you in a minute. So the flow editor gives you a visual view of things. You can click on things to see what's going on in there. So very, very straightforward to follow. And if you're not happy with what you're seeing here, you can hit the edit button and modify the workflow. But let's say you're happy with the workflow and you hit run, then it's going to go through the first step, which is Jira JQL, where AI figured out a query language, which is a pretty sophisticated query. It's not a simple keyword search, to find matching Jiras from the last 48 hours for your project, for your team, based on labels and any other criteria. It can be arbitrarily complex. Gets those tickets, reads those tickets one by one, figures out what are the keywords in those tickets that need to be searched on Slack, goes and finds those Slack messages for those Jira tickets to get a better context of what the Jira ticket is about. It also figures out that the Jira tickets are mentioned on hashtag announcement. This was part of my template. So it reads what was posted on hashtag announcements as well. And once it has all of this context around what is the Jira about, what did people say about it on Slack, and what was released to production, it puts together a comprehensive release note. And this is where the power of generative writing, along with being grounded in the knowledge that comes from Jira and Slack of your workspace, comes together and into a beautiful report that we just saw, which is this kind of report. And now you can copy paste this into your favorite marketing editor like Canva or something else, and you can have a beautiful external facing release note. So this is just one of the workflows. Let's go through a few more. This is really powerful. Actually, we just talked about engineering. So let's take a look at, let's say, something that everybody can identify with, right? So Gmail labeler. So inbox zero. Basically, let me show you an inbox that might look pretty cluttered, but it will be good to quickly take a sneak peek at my inbox. So as you can see, it's pretty cluttered, but all of these emails were marked as spam notifications, and then the ones where there was an actual signal were marked as important, and then wherever invoices are due or late, it will mark them with an escalate label. So all of these labels came from our platform, and this is extremely powerful because we are able to look at Edge as not just a platform, but also as a way of creating point products. So inbox zero product, or a sales automation product, or a request for proposal RFP handler product, and so on and so forth. So some of the examples of the kinds of products you could launch with Edge AI would be all the templates that we've released here, and there are many more coming. We just talked about inbox zero. Now Slack to Jira automated ticket creator is where, let's say you're in a Slack discussion daily across multiple threads across, say, 4 or 5 important channels, and people will keep forgetting to create Jira tickets for them, because of which stuff doesn't move along fast enough, and let's say the project manager is on vacation or is kind of jumping around from one thread to another. So this can act as a co-pilot for the project manager. Then sales. So with sales at Edge, actually, we have automated sales entirely. So we read emails to figure out the updates for the corresponding opportunities. So the opportunities are searched for automatically, and then they're updated on the fly. Tasks are created, and if a task is due or overdue, then the corresponding sales rep is nudged on Slack automatically, and all of this is done through these kinds of flowcharts. So here, what we've done is there's a workflow for high-risk opportunity audits. So this is a way by which you can create a workflow that you don't want to go through, daily or weekly for your sales team, and it can be arbitrarily complex. You can put in, dollar amounts above which you want to pay particular attention, or you want to say, like, if an opportunity has been open for quite some time, what should happen? If there are tasks that are overdue, then what should happen, and so on and so forth. So workflows after workflows after workflows of arbitrary complexity. And one final thing I want to mention that is really important is, along with large language models orchestrating all of this across all the applications for you, there is an important layer of code generator. And what that does is, for the connectors that I showed here, if there are, so all of these connectors currently only support search. None of them are capable of writing. But as of today, already in production, our code generator can on the fly create action-oriented tool on the fly. So it self-assesses, tests itself for 5 attempts to build the tool on the fly, make sure it works. And let's say you want to update the status of Salesforce opportunity. That capability doesn't exist natively in our platform, and it is coded on the fly by the workload product. Same thing with the Gmail labeler that you just saw here. This is not natively supported by our platform. This is coded on the fly. So Python code is written and tested by AI on the fly, executed to achieve these actions for you. And a related update from us, so the code generator is already in production, but we are now in the process of releasing 100 plus tools or capabilities. And the idea there is, instead of constantly generating these capabilities on the fly every time whenever workflows run, we have identified 100 capabilities across the various tools, such as Salesforce Opportunity Update, Salesforce Task Create, Salesforce Comment, and so on and so forth. So Jira Comment, Jira Ticket Create, so on. So there are 100 such capabilities that we have implemented offline, dev and QA certified, that will be released to production. And that will allow you to have the ability to achieve 2 things. One, because the code is already certified and in production, it will not waste time creating it every time you run your workflow, so the workflows will run much faster. And second, it will be predictable because it is the same code every single time. You're not vibe coding it on the fly and have variance in the outcomes. And then the code generator will become focused on only the long tail of capabilities that we haven't yet thought of. For example, let's say you want to pull the emojis on a Slack channel for measuring the engagement of employees on that channel. Now, it may not be a tool or a capability that we have implemented yet, but it would be the perfect candidate for the code generator to put together. So to summarize, we have Go links and collections that organize content for you and helps with knowledge management in the workplace. Then you have search, chat, and workflows that brings knowledge search, knowledge synthesis, and knowledge-based automation to you. Let me also quickly show you. I know it's been a recording. I'll try to speed it up and then share it. But let me also show you what our browser extension product can do. So let's take a look at, say, some Reddit thread. It's been a while, but let's see if Mistral is still. I'll just pull something with hopefully a large number of comments. Okay, so this thread has a large number of comments going on. So I can literally chat with this thread. What are people generally saying? And it's going to read this entire page and all of the comments and then summarize everything and tell you an answer to exactly the query. So summarize is a different button. This one is actually about asking pinpointed questions. Really, really powerful. And also another capability is you can add to collections right here. So if you have a folder where you're putting together a large language model research, or it could be anything, electric vehicle research, or let's say influencer marketing research, or anything, sales strategies, then as you go around looking at pages that look important, you can just drag and drop them into your collection. And let me show you one final thing. Actually, the final thing I cannot show because I'm recording just a browser tab at the moment. I wanted to show you Slack. So Slack bot is our co-pilot for Slack, and everything I showed you, like practically everything I showed you, can also be launched from Slack. So you don't really have to come to app.edge.ai. You could just search for things, you can ask questions, and you can be inside a Slack thread and ask Edge to summarize the thread and create a draft for creating a Salesforce opportunity or creating a Jira opportunity, so on and so forth. So it doesn't cover every single capability, but it covers quite a lot. And we will cover that in a separate video with you, hopefully. But that is essentially all the capabilities of Edge AI that are all put together over the last several years, and with a focus on helping employees feel connected and productive at work.